Thanksgiving now just one day away, and the biggest shopping weekend of the year is right behind it. Black Friday and Cyber Monday kick off the holiday shopping season, but after years of high prices and shoppers starting to feel inflation fatigue, we'll see how things will go this year. And to talk more about that, we're joined now by Portland State University Professor of Economics, Rajiv Sharma. Professor Sharma, thanks for being with us today.
Well, you're most welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. I'd like to start with big picture, speaking nationally. How important is this Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend for businesses right now?
It is very important. So if we think about the economy nationally, the two words that I would use to describe it are uncertain and bifurcated. And so for many retailers, many other businesses, this weekend that is coming up is going to be make or break.
So how much spending do you anticipate from shoppers this year nationally, and how does it compare to, say, last year and the years before?
Right. So generally, prices have been up about 3%. We don't really know, honestly, how much spending is going to go up, because that we will find out only after the season and the weekend are over. So that's not something that I have particular insight into, but there is a great deal of uncertainty regarding what's going on in the economy, both from the perspective of tariffs that were being talked about earlier, from the perspective of economic policy in general. There are other things also, like higher insurance prices for healthcare, that are causing customers to be careful with their spending. And
Well, I want to ask you about the term inflation fatigue. You mentioned that before the show today. What does that mean exactly, and how does that show up in consumer spending?
Well, basically, that consumers have seen higher prices for several years now, and those prices have continued to creep up. Inflation overall is about 3% right now. The thing is that it's not just inflation fatigue, it's also combined with uncertainties regarding the job market, regarding prospects for the future that may make consumers a little bit more sensitive to prices now than they were a few years ago, when the job market was looking stronger and professional opportunities were easier to come by.
Can you talk about that? You said that there is 3% inflation right now. How does that compare to the years before? I mean, that sounds like more on track of what economists generally hope inflation will be, correct, than what we've seen?
Well, the Federal Reserve Bank basically sets inflation policy for the United States. Its target is about 2%. And so this is above the Fed's long run inflation target. And, of course, during the COVID years, we had spikes in that inflation. Prior to that, for many years, the inflation rate was right at 2% or lower. So if you leave out the COVID spike, we are running a little bit hotter. We are running about a percentage point hotter than the Federal Reserve typically targets.
So let's focus now on the Pacific Northwest. How do these national trends compare to what we're seeing here in Portland and around Oregon?
Right. So the fundamental point is that Portland and Oregon, we are part of the national economy. We are part of the globalized economy. So any factors that buffet the economy globally, buffet the economy nationally, they're also going to be felt through in Oregon and in Portland, whether it is through our agricultural markets, whether it is through companies like Intel or companies like Nike, and other parts of the economy also locally. They are very interconnected with the global and national economies. So those global and national trends, they percolate through. Unemployment in Oregon is running a little bit higher, for example, than the rest of the country on average. So we are at about 5%. Also, the numbers are a little bit delayed right now. So we are looking at the rear view mirror effectively about 2 months ago, rather than having a more current picture, because the numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the other federal sources are delayed right now.
I want to ask, of course, every year over these big shopping and sales weekends, we see people buy for themselves as well, right? They're not only doing their holiday shopping. Do you think that will be different this year as far as maybe less of that impulse buying or treating themselves?
Well, when people are concerned about the future, about their prospects, that tends to make them more cautious about spending, whether it is on themselves or on others, and less likely to splurge. There is another possible factor, which is that there are reports that some of the supplies for holiday products, they may be disrupted, and as a consequence, there may be a shortage closer to in a few weeks of those products. So to the extent that those products consumers think that they're less likely to become available in the future, they may actually bring forward some of those purchases and splurge on those now as opposed to a few weeks from now.
Okay, interesting insight. We really appreciate your time, Professor Sharma. Thank you so much.
Thank you.